Friday, which means it's movie day. And before we get to our Oscar picks, let's mention that there's three big movies opening in Columbus this week. We've got the 300 parody Meet the Spartans. We've got the latest installment in the Rambo series, simply titled Rambo, proving that Stallone will never die, nor will he ever let his signature characters die. And Untraceable, a technological thriller that stars Diane Lane. That said, the Oscar nods came out Tuesday. Let's pontificate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'll just go through some of the bigger categories. I think most average movie fans, and oftentimes myself included, don't really pay that much attention to sound editing and other things that the Academy selects nominations for each year. My main complaint before we get into the lists is that every year the Academy seems to just harp on the same films. I mean, There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men are great movies. They're great movies, but they got each got 8 nominations, and I think that just you might want to spread it around a little bit. I don't know. It'll never happen, so let's stop bitching and get into actor in a leading role. The nominations are George Clooney for Michael Clayton, Daniel Day-Lewis for There Will Be Blood, Johnny Depp for Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, Tommy Lee Jones for In the Valley of Ella, and Viggo Mortensen for Eastern Promises. Who is my pick of these 5? Because I really thought his portrayal of a Russian mobster living, I think in London, is just really powerful, and the things that he does to get into this gang are really intense. I mean, I said in my blog that he's as visceral of a performer as the tattoo that he gets once he's kind of tattooed into the mob.
That's a good way to put it, and that was absolutely a great performance. I'm going to have to agree with sort of the general consensus on this so far that Daniel Day-Lewis deserves to and will win for his take as Daniel Plainview in There Will Be Blood. Basically, he's playing this early 20th century Texas oil baron, self-made man who kind of squares off against this young kind of over-the-top preacher in this tiny Texas town that he's drilling in. He brings forth a really conflicted, really rich, really quirky performance. It's not often you describe something so like blood-chilling as quirky, but anyway, I got to go with DDL. Now, actress in a leading role, we've got Cate Blanchett for Elizabeth the Golden Age, Julie Christie in Away From Her, Marion Cotillard in La Vie en Rose, Laura Linney in The Savages, and Ellen Page for Juno. My main gripe with this category is I think Ellen Page in Juno is getting too much credit for just being, again to use the word quirky, this time in a bad way. There is depth to her performance, but I feel like to a certain extent she's just rattling off all these catchphrases, and I'm sure she has great things in her future, but I don't think this is a Best Actress kind of performance.
I was speaking with some local movie critics when a critics group that I'm in, put together our nominations and selections, and it was thought that there weren't a lot of strong lead female roles this year, and there really weren't, but there were some really subtle female roles, and I think Laura Linney, as much as I love Edith Piaf, who Marion Cotillard portrayed in La Vie en Rose, I'm going to have to go with Laura Linney because her performance as an estranged daughter of a man she now has to care for is really powerful, and the interaction that she has with her brother, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, is just outstanding. She plays this really quirky, struggling playwright to really good ends. That said, the nominations for Best Director are The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, directed by Julian Schnabel, Juno, directed by Jason Reitman, Michael Clayton, directed by Bourne Ultimatum screenwriter Tony Gilroy, No Country for Old Men by the illustrious Coen brothers, and Paul Thomas Anderson's work for There Will Be Blood. One movie that I didn't really enjoy, and it's not going to be one that I have a lot of repeat viewings of, it was The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, which is really fascinating. Schnabel looks at a man who just got out of surgery and is undergoing almost complete paralysis. Basically, the man is left with functionality of his eye, and at times that goes as well. And it's excruciating to basically you're living the life of a man undergoing just horrible medical problems, and for those reasons that's why I'm not going to watch it, and also why I think it's really the best direction of the year.
All the buzz that I've heard suggests that Joel and Ethan Coen are finally going to get their due for No Country for Old Men, which would be fine with me. But I tend to go with you that Julian Schnabel's work is probably the most commendable on the year. As far as the Best Picture nominees are concerned, we have Atonement, Juno, Michael Clayton, No Country for Old Men, and There Will Be Blood. And with this one, I'm going to have to return to my enthusiasm for There Will Be Blood. I just feel like it's on such a grand scale. We've got such great acting from the principals, got such a great score from Johnny Greenwood, the direction from Paul Thomas Anderson. It all comes together into my most satisfying movie-going experience of the year. I've seen it twice, and the second time my jaw still dropped even though I knew everything that was about to happen.
I'm going to default to that because I totally agree that this is one for the ages, certainly. We've got plenty more on our blogs. I'm at columbusalive.com/rideact.
At columbusalive.com/sensory. We'll see you here on Tuesday.
Super Tuesday. Are we really talking about Lisa Love this much? All right, we're over it.